starters, Dora in the Netherlands teaches us English. So we learned our basic English words and sentences from Dora the Explorer. Me too.
I spleefed and killed Greninja, who was on my team. And then in the second round, right, I didn't mine a single block. I said, in the third round, I said, I'm not mining any blocks after that, blah, 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 blah. I decided to finally mine a block. Who was I trying to spleef? Greninja. If I get into Rising and I'm on, like, the green team, for example, then I want to do the entire event in, like, an alien costume. Like, do you know them big, puffy alien costumes? Are just impossible to move in. Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC. The podcast writes it down with an amazing guest every now and then, really just dependent on when we do a podcast. However, today I am joined with WithMayX. See what I did there? Do you get it? Because your name's WithMayX. Instead of saying WithMayX, I said I'm joined with WithMayX. But your name is WithMayX. It's funny because like...
Yeah, you know, I've actually spent nights awake about this where I was like, you know what? If I ever go onto like a podcast and then someone has to introduce me and they're like, I'm WithMayX, and I was like, oh no, now my nightmares become a reality, Orbits.
You're welcome. I did it for you.
Thanks. I really appreciate that.
How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm good, thank you. We did have a little chat beforehand. We decided that we're going to rename today's podcast to the Stomach Problems Podcast.
True, yeah.
Because we both have stomach aches, or like, well, in the sense of a thing. But we'll get into that later anyways, because I'm sure that's going to be a topic for conversation regarding everything for you anyways. So if you're happy for it too, of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Before I get into the main chunk of questions and all that kind of jazz then, I always like to give the introduction for you to let us know who you are. So who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact either about yourself or just a fun fact, do you know? Anything works.
Okay, well, you're putting me on the spot here. Hi, my name is May, also known as WithMayX. I'm a Dutch content creator from the Netherlands. I do Twitch in Dutch and English. I do YouTube in Dutch, make Roblox videos on there. Did I say I'm 19? I don't know. I'm 19. I study public administration, and a fun fact is I own a 2.20 meter tall pink teddy bear named Pink Pookie Bear.
Why is that?
So one day I got a text from one of my molts and my friends who said, May, a big package is arriving for your birthday. And I was like, oh wait, what's it gonna be? And then there was this like big, like actual truck that's meant for like big transport that just parked in front of my house. And then they were dragging like a trash bag to my door. And I was like, oh wait, hold up, what's happening here? Like, what's gonna be in this? And then I opened it and there was a 2.20 meter pink teddy bear in there that weighs like 20 kilos.
What were your parents' reaction to that?
My mom was there while I was like unpacking it or unboxing it, and she was just laughing.
And now it just chills in your room.
No, it's I have two chairs like in my setup, like those chill chairs in my attic here, and I didn't have anywhere else to put it, so it just sits there and it's always staring at me. So even if no one's watching me, I know I have one fan, and it's Pink Pookie Bear.
I respect. When did Pink Pookie Bear arrive?
I think like a few days after my birthday. So my birthday's like October 7th, and then Pink Pookie Bear arrived a few days later.
Oh, so it was after MCC Rising.
Yeah, no, this was after MCC Rising, yeah.
So you got in with the Pink Pookies, and then Pink Pookie Bear showed up at your house, and it's like, it was just meant to be.
Yeah, and that's why, well, to be fair, it's a pink bear, so I was like, okay, what do I name this? Because normally I always let my chat name my plushies that I get, because I'm a big fan of plushies. And then I was sitting there, I was like, wait, guys, it's a pink bear, and people often say, like, Pookie Bear. Why don't we call it Pink Pookie Bear? Because we're the Pink Pookies, you know? And that's how it was named.
Yeah, fair enough. So, WithMayX, I'm going to full name you this entire podcast.
Okay, Insane Orbits with 2 Z's.
2 Z's. Oh, you say Z's? You don't say Z's?
No, I say Z's or Z's. It depends on the vibe, honestly. It depends on the moment.
So what is the vibe today American then, is it?
I don't know. Maybe I'll switch it up. Maybe I'll call you Insane Orbits with 2 Z's after.
And I'll start calling you Maisie TV at one point as well.
Okay.
The name WithMayX, in all seriousness though, where did it come from? What was the idea behind it?
Okay, so the origin story. When I was younger, I always wanted to be a fashion designer as like my occupation later in life. And at one point, my mom and I were like thinking, okay, what if I would be like a fashion designer? What would my brand be? Because we always like, oh, we can name it like Made by May or something, but obviously that was already trademarked. And then we had to think of something different. So I think I was maybe 9 years old, or maybe like 9, 10, 11 years old-ish, when me and my mom thought of With May. And that's the start of my Twitch career. I was a Roblox streamer. And at the time, anyone who streamed Roblox just had their Roblox username as their Twitch name. So I also had that. So I was MayX, but I was like M_AYYX. It was very complicated whenever I had to tell anyone. I stole that from someone else, by the way. But at one point, I was like, okay, I'm not going to stream Roblox anymore, so it doesn't make sense for me to have my Roblox username as my username.
Yeah.
And it's complicated. What can I change it to? And then I was like, oh, wait, when I was younger, I came up with May. Because, like, you know, we're like streaming, you know, and you with May. Yeah, fun. I tried that. It was taken. And then I was like, okay, what can I add to this, or like in front of it or behind it? So at the end, I came up with WithMayX and then WithMay_. I asked one of my friends, I was like, which one sounds better? He's like, WithMayX has a better ring to it. And then now we're here.
I like it. It's a nice name. And it works as well, right? Because you are,
True.
When you're watching, you're with MayX, you know?
Yeah. And also it's just, it's led to like a lot of fun little bits where it's like, oh, now I'm like with SlayX as well. Or like I'm with BaldX. And Manhue keeps calling me, yeah, my chat loves to say, okay, so backstory behind that. I used to have like really, really long hair, like down to my butt long hair when I started streaming.
Okay.
And then one day I went to the hairdresser for the first time, actually, because my mom used to cut my hair because she used to be a hairdresser. But I actually went to the hair salon for once and I cut it off like until my rib cage, I think. So it was like a lot of hair that I cut off. And then from that moment on, my chat just started calling me Bald, and then it became with BaldX, and now I have like emotes that are with BaldX. She keeps making me drawings of me bald. It's a whole thing now.
How comes you decided to stop streaming Roblox then? Why'd you move on to different games, i.e. Minecraft?
So Roblox when I started off streaming Roblox, it was really good. Like there were a lot of people having fun streaming different Roblox games, and there were like, this was a period in which constantly like new banger Roblox games were being released. So you always had something to stream. And then Roblox really goes through these periods of, you'll have like a few really good games coming out. They'll have their hype, and then the hype dies down, and then you have just a period of absolutely nothing on Roblox. Like there'll just be nothing there to play. And the Roblox category started getting taken over by just people who would AFK stream Robux giveaways. So 90% of the viewers would all be watching like free Robux streams. And then I had this like friend group of Roblox streamers. And we were just there like trying our hardest to keep the Roblox category alive. But at one point I just got so burned out from streaming the same thing over and over again on Roblox that I was like, so I think this was like December 2020. I decided like I'm gonna stop streaming Roblox. I don't feel the vibe anymore. And then I didn't stream for a month. And then I did my first comeback stream on January 10th of 2021, that's when I started streaming Minecraft for the first time, which is also what I count as like my official streaming anniversary, because that's when I consistently started streaming 3 to 4 times a week.
I like to call myself Insane Aurabit. So you could also be with AuraX.
True. I have many names.
You have many names, many personalities, many laws.
True. Yeah.
And then, so like, obviously you kind of picked up Minecraft for quite a bit, and you've obviously been, so you said, sorry, 2021 was it? Is that the exact date? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Like January 10th, 2021.
Got you. So like since then you've been streaming Minecraft quite a lot. Is there anything that like kind of inspired you to specifically do that, or like do you just enjoy the game?
Well, I never really stopped playing Minecraft with my friends. I always liked it, and I was going through, like, I went through my Roblox phase, and then I started streaming it, obviously, and then I got really bored of Roblox. And then I entered my Minecraft phase again with my friends. Like during lockdown, we just played a lot of Minecraft during classes, like during online classes and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I got really into Bed Wars. I really enjoyed watching videos on that and playing that. And obviously Minecraft was just blowing up around 2020, 2021 again on Twitch. So I was like, oh, this is like a good like game to stream and to capitalize off of. And it did go really well for me, specifically during the COVID period. But everyone's numbers were inflated during COVID because everyone was on Twitch.
Yeah, exactly. Over your time playing Minecraft, then you started up the WithMayX YouTube channel. Your oldest video is from 4 years ago, which is a Bed Wars video. You did other things like craziest stream ever. You applied to MCC Rising 2. I didn't even know you applied to MCC Rising 2. You had like TwitchCon vlogs. I didn't even know you was at TwitchCon Paris 2023. Oh my god, I was there. So
we didn't even know each other at TwitchCon Rotterdam this year, so
I know, which is kind of insane. And you're going again this year, so that's pretty cool. But you've done so many like cool videos, like the setup tour, all that kind of jazz. What like specifically with MCC? I know there's another channel that we'll talk about later. What kind of inspired your content? Why do you not do so much on YouTube on the WithMayX channel?
So I always wanted to be a content creator, obviously, because I grew up watching YouTubers. So I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. And I tried it for a while. I was a Movie Star Planet YouTuber, but I just didn't really like the interaction, which is why I then moved to streaming, because it like you can just talk to your chat for hours on end, and I really like yapping, so I really enjoyed the interaction part of that. For me, it's like obviously with like the Dutch channel we'll talk about later, I do like that, like I am thoroughly enjoying that. But for me, I much prefer the platform of Twitch. Like I just really prefer streaming to making YouTube videos, still to this day, even though I do Dutch YouTube as well now. But I think for my English channel, it's just I never really knew what I wanted to do on it. So people told me like, oh May, you have to like upload on YouTube so you can like make it bigger on Twitch. I never really knew what to do with it. And then every time I had an idea, it was just not the time, because I pack my schedule full of like everything. I do way too many things. So it's sometimes quite hard to balance stuff and to figure out, you know, what I'm going to do. And especially now where I stream 5 times a week and I make 2 YouTube videos a week, I just don't really have the time to do English YouTube right now. So I just use my YouTube channel at this point to just post whenever I feel like it. Like if I do something cool, like I'm building a new setup, then sure, I will make a video about it or post my like MCC Rising fold-in application there and my TwitchCon vlogs. But I just use it more of like I'll post on here once every blue moon or like once in a while, just when I have something fun to post.
Yeah.
Because I don't just want to post like low quality. I mean, to be fair, we can argue that the first videos on my channel, but they're 4 years old, are low quality.
Yeah,
but
being so hard.
like the last few years, I've just been using it as a way to like, oh, I went to TwitchCon, I recorded some bits and bobs, let me make a little video out of it to remember it by, you know?
Are you doing one for TwitchCon 2025 now that you know so many different people?
Yeah, I was going to do one for 2024, but honestly, it was like the vibe to film lots of stuff wasn't there for 2024 because there were just so many people already to meet. So I was just going between like, oh, I'm going to meet up with this person now. Oh, I'm going to meet up with this person now. And we did obviously do the stream there, which I thought, you know what, we did like an hour-long TwitchCon stream with all of our friends there. Okay. So that was fun. And then I didn't feel like there was a need or a moment to be really filming much during 2024 because I was just having a good time hanging out with friends, and I didn't want to ruin that by like pushing a camera in everyone's faces, because it's also like these are friends like Liam, Katie, and Pei I get to see once a year, you know? And I just wanted to also be present in the moment instead of just looking for content everywhere.
I get that. I was gonna say a question, but I've completely lost it now, which is really frustrating. Something to do with TwitchCon. It must have been. I don't know. Oh, I guess. Okay. Well, this wasn't what I was thinking, so I've lost it. But this is kind of a question I wanted to ask, anyways. What was the decision behind showing your face online? Because I've recently started streaming with a face cam, and I really, really enjoy it. I love it. But at the same time, like because of like just me being me, it's kind of been hard to get into that. So how exactly did you get into like showing your face online? Why has it always kind of happened? If that makes sense. I
was never allowed to be on YouTube and like Twitch publicly with my face because my parents were like, you can do that by the time you're 16. But I started streaming when I was 15, so I did do it without a face cam for like a while, but eventually I was like, I just really want to stream with a face cam because I thought that was cool. I don't know. I've been doing modeling since I was like 6 or 8 years old. So I've never really been uncomfortable in front of a camera. And I've been used to it since that age. Like I love being on camera. I love photo shoots. I love like film shoots, whatever. So for me, it was like, I always just really wanted to show my face, but I wasn't allowed to. And I also wasn't allowed to stream on Twitch. So I would tell my parents I would be talking to my friends just so they wouldn't like scream upstairs. Something what they used to do is I had my setup in my bedroom before I moved it to the attic for the longest time. And before I started streaming, if I was like upstairs gaming, they would just like scream upstairs and be like, May, we're going to football, and then leave, But I had like a condensator mic that was quite bad at the start. So if they would scream upstairs, the mic would pick that up because it picked everything up. So I told them like, oh, Mom, Dad, I'm going to be talking to my friends online. Don't scream upstairs if you're leaving, just text me. So I lied to them about starting streaming, and I only told them when I hit affiliate. like, hey, mom, dad, so I kind of need your permission to sign this because I'm under 18, but I can make money with this now. And haha, surprise, I've been doing this. So I was never allowed to do it. I just really wanted to. And then at one point, I was just like, I've told them I stream on Twitch now. I'm just going to use a face cam.
Yeah, exactly. I remember my question. This is going to sound like a really weird one, right? But it makes sense to an extent. Going through your daily life, what language do you use more? Do you use English or do you use Dutch?
Oh, that depends on the day, to be fair.
Okay, because today then. How would today go?
Today, I have not spoken Dutch yet because, actually no, that's why I've said one sentence in Dutch. Because I woke up and it's a Sunday and my brother is currently in Austria teaching ski lessons and my dad's probably at football and my mom was leaving. So I was still in the bathroom getting ready and my mom just screamed upstairs like 5 minutes after I'd woken up, May, I'm gonna go. I was like, okay, bye-bye. And then I came here a few hours later and I'm out talking to you in English. So today I have not had interaction with anyone except for my mom.
And do your parents only speak Dutch or do you speak English as well?
Yeah. My parents only speak Dutch. They just owe it. No, they speak English. They speak English, but not to me. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. Are they able to speak English? Yeah, but they are.
Yeah. No, they're pretty good at English. But on like a school day, for example, I study in English, like my studies in English. So if I have school the entire day, for example, on the Wednesday, I'll wake up, I'll talk to my mom a bit before going to school. I'm at school. I practically speak English for most of the day. My like closest friend group is Dutch, but they just rarely ever show up. So I'm always with like my international friends. So I just speak English, then I go home, I'll have dinner in Dutch, then I go upstairs and I stream dinner in Dutch. Then I'll go upstairs and I stream in English for 2 hours. So it depends on the day and it depends on the people I interact with on a daily basis. But online, it's mostly just English. Like I text way more in English than I text in Dutch.
That's kind of insane though, like how you're just like, see, I've always wanted to like be like bilingual, but for like I've just got one of those brains that can never process it, sadly. Like I've really tried my hardest to learn different languages, and I know like bits and pieces in Spanish, like I know little words here and there, but I would never be able to like form a full sentence, even though it's something I want to do. I tried learning sign language, I learned how to do the alphabet, but I just couldn't. It's just something that my brain just can't process. It can process a lot of things, but it can't do that, sadly.
Yeah. But I think also because you are English and a lot of people's second language is English, because English is just, in my opinion at least, it's a very easy language to learn. And I also think I learned English at a really young age, not really through school. Like for starters, Dora in the Netherlands teaches us English. So we learned our basic English words and sentences from Dora the Explorer. And then I just started playing Roblox, and Roblox, everything is in English. And I started watching like English YouTube videos when I was really young. Even though I like sometimes couldn't understand it, I would like maybe watch it with subtitles or something. But just consuming a lot of English content already helped me understand English. And then I just played Roblox. I played a lot of career games, which is like when you work at like a cafe or a bakery or something, and you would have to have like perfect grammar to work there. Those were the rules. So I learned a lot of grammar through playing Roblox games. And then I met a lot of English-speaking friends, and I would be in voice calls with them, and my English accent was so bad. Someone asked me once, "Are you French?" And I was like, no, I'm not French. But over time, I feel like over time my accent's definitely like shifted a lot from. And there was a time where I was just like half British sometimes. It's really terrible looking back at it. But that's just how I learned English. I feel I actually like unironically I learned English through Roblox.
Well, the thing is as well, and it's like why I iterated so much that I physically can't learn it, is because at least in England it's a bit like of a common like thing. I mean, I might be wrong. Maybe it's just the area that I live in. Like maybe it's just like a joke amongst my friends and stuff like that. But not really a joke, but a thing that we've learned is like, so when I work, like mostly I've been a barista through my life, right? So I've worked with a lot of like foreign people, you know, foreign speaking people, and what they've learned from just like from when like English people come to like their countries when they're back home and all that kind of jazz, right? Is that apparently English people are just a lot more like arrogant to learning a new language, which I've experienced is true. Like there's a lot of English people I've spoken to that like just won't want to learn a new language because like, oh, when we go there they're going to speak English anyways. So like that's why I iterated so much that I physically can't learn, because it's a lot of the time it's the case that English people are just arrogant to learning a new language. So the thing is, I wouldn't
call every English person that doesn't want to learn a language arrogant.
no, but there's some people. No, but there's some people you speak to who like they go to IB for every year, right? Like at least this is really like quote unquote like chavvy English, but like they'll go to IB for every year, but then they'll refuse to learn Spanish because they don't need to because everyone speaks English there. Why do we need to bother?
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Arrogant in that sense.
Yeah, that's like the point I was going to make because a lot of people all around the world speak English, so it's a lot easier for an English person to go. Like if you go to, for example, Amsterdam, also because it's just like such like it's a world. Is it a world city? I don't know what classifies as a world city, but it's like a big city, right?
It's a perfect place for tourism,
a lot of people speak English there. And the thing is, right, that's one thing I did notice. I've talked about this with my friends quite often. It's Dutch people, we learn 4 languages in high school. We have Dutch, German, French, and English. So we learn like the 4 closest and most important languages around us. But when we go to like Spain, we'll try and at least learn some Spanish to like ask for directions or something like that. But there's so many other like countries who will, like, for example, if I go to Germany, right, I live quite close to the German border. If I go to Germany, I will be speaking German to the Germans there. There's people, because I work in a shoe store, there's people that come from Germany to our shoe store, buy shoes, and they'll just start speaking in German to me, because they're just, like, you know, they figure I speak German, which I do, sure. Not about shoes, though, but I can understand them. But it's like, when Dutch people go somewhere, we always try, or most of us at least, try and like learn the language of the country we're going to so we can speak to them in their language. But then other like people from other countries come to us and they just speak in their native language. And I'm like, you know, learn some Dutch, you know, because if you live like 10 minutes away from the Dutch border, why would you not speak Dutch? I live a bit like that away from the German border. I speak a bit of German.
Well, my outside is as well though is so my partner, she's Spanish speaking, so be it she hasn't really done it in a while, like because she just anyways. But like she hasn't spoken Spanish much in a while, but she still can speak and understand it. So I guess we have the upside of if we ever go to like another country, like or when like we go to like Netherlands or if we go to like Luxembourg or Germany or whatever, like if they don't speak English, there's a possibility they also speak Spanish, and if they don't speak Spanish either, then it's like, oh, okay, it's fine. But for the most part, at least we have like the second option, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Whereas you have like 4 options, even if you don't fully like understand it or can speak it, at least you have the rough basis for it.
Yeah, so, that's true.
Kind of back into like the whole content stuff then. Sorry, that was just a question I thought would be fun to talk about. I want to talk about this earlier on, if it's okay with you, about your condition before we get into like the
condition.
Well, no, but I don't know what to call it. Like your health. Let's talk about your health, okay?
My health. Okay, yeah.
I don't know how to word this. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, I know we have a lot more to talk about. Obviously, about your Dutch channel and all that kind of jazz. I just want to speak about this early because it's a topic I'm just really interested in because I can kind of relate to it. Not to an extent. I can partially relate to it. Anyways, before I ask any questions, are you able to just kind of tell us about it?
Sure.
You know what I'm referring to. I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say here.
No, you're all good. So I have this thing now. This illness called IBD-U, which stands for irritable bowel disease, and the U stands for undefined because IBD is like an umbrella term for Crohn's disease and like colitis ulcerosa or something like that. But the doctors like couldn't really determine which of the two I had because it didn't really align with either of them. So they called it IBD-U, which stands for IBD undefined. So I have an undefined version of IBD. But basically what it does is my immune system attacks like my own like stomach and bowels, making them like chronically inflamed, which kind of sucks if I gotta be honest about it. It started off really mild, but it has been getting worse over the course of like the last few months. But basically what it entails is you have to be on like immune system suppressors that will make your immune system like not hopefully attack it, that the inflammation goes down and you can actually like live life without issues, you know. That's what it is. Like it basically just means that I have to be careful with what I eat. There's some foods that I just know will like set it off, so I like if I wanted to have a bad time tomorrow, I would have to eat like pasta today and then I would not have a good time. Yeah, that's like the gist of it. If I wanted to
have a bad time tomorrow, you know, like pre-preparing, just have a bit of a shit day, quite physically and literally.
Quite literally, yeah.
So like so mine I have something wrong with my stomach. I don't know what it is, but it's undiagnosed. The doctors in England take an extremely long time to do anything about it, sadly. But like it hasn't, luckily enough, kind of affected my content. I think at TwitchCon last year, I haven't actually ever said this publicly. At TwitchCon Rotterdam last year, I did have a bit of a rough time where I had to disappear for about like 45 minutes. So I missed like some, possibly cool opportunities, like being a group of people and chat and stuff like that. Which wasn't like major, but it kind of just sucked that I had to kind of run off and like, because I'd eaten something, and like the thing is, it didn't disagree with me. It just like made my stomach hurt, essentially, right?
I had the wait. What did you eat? Like that really like greasy sandwich thing?
No,
with like
no.
the chicken in
so
it.
mine was strange. Okay, so I think it was on a Saturday, right? I ate a hot dog, right? But there was nothing wrong with it. Like it didn't make me unwell. I was fine the next day. Then randomly the next day, without eating anything, I got really unwell, and I know it was because of the hot dog. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got, obviously with you like experience it, you know that like it's like, for instance, okay, there's a local chicken shop in my area, right? And it's really nice. If I eat it at any point during the day, at 12 o'clock, at 1 o'clock, no matter what, right? If I eat it at 8 a.m. for any reason, that entire day I'd be completely fine. I'll go to bed, I'll wake up the next day, and I'll have, my stomach will be burning, and I'll have a really bad stomach ache the entirety of the next day. Even if I eat it at like 8 a.m. today, tomorrow I'll be ruined the entire day. So like I knew it was the hot dog that done it to me. There was nothing wrong with the hot dog being cooked. It's just it just didn't agree with me, which is really annoying. Yeah. But I can't relate to an extent with you. But my question from this, is has it ever affected your content at any point?
No, it definitely has. Sometimes I just feel too sick to do anything really, even stream. For example, before I got diagnosed with it, I've been having like, I always thought it was like, oh, maybe it's like allergies, maybe it's a gluten allergy. I tested everything, nothing ever came from it. And then at one point, Christmas last year, after Christmas, I'm pretty sure, I got really, really sick for like a good month, and I barely streamed. Like I was on the couch, couldn't stand up without, or like sit straight up without like nearly throwing up because it was so bad. And then there have been times where like, even when I'm on meds where it's just bad, where like the thing is, I can feel fine in the morning, and then I'll have eaten like something, and then an hour later I'm just not feeling good, and then I can't stream. So it really sucks, because I am someone, obviously with IBD being a chronic illness, it's never going to go away. And because I'm not in remission yet, hopefully soon, but because I'm not in remission yet, I have like stomach issues and pain every single day. And it's like, sometimes I think to myself, like, I am like dealing with a lot, because I'm a pretty optimistic person, right? I just am like, oh, there's nothing I can really change about this, let me just, like, I can go sit on the couch and cry, or I can just keep living my life with this pain. But it might sound, I don't want to like say this to farm pity points, obviously, but I am in pain every day. And then sometimes I think to myself, like, any regular person, if they would feel this way, they would be like in bed with a hot water bottle, not going to work, and I am here at work,
You funny enough, you kind of like go through your life right now the exact same as my mum. So my mum obviously doesn't have that, but she has like a lot of health problems and stuff, and she's had a lot of surgery in the past. She's been quite good lately, touch wood, but so what's it called? Like, so she kind of has the same mentality where like she has so much wrong with her that she's constantly in pain, all this kind of jazz. But she still gets up, she still goes to work. And something that like kind of like it doesn't annoy her per se, she just kind of mentions it. It's like a lot of the time where she works, there'll be people calling in sick because they have a cold, or because it's like every single day I get up and I go to work and I do this while still feeling like how I do. And like that's what I'm saying. You give me the exact same vibes that you're also like that, which is like incredible. I like a lot of respect. Like I really, really respect it.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, right, I'm not gonna help myself with just sulking about it. It's just like, sure, it really sucks, but this is my life now, and I'm gonna have to deal with it. I'm just hoping that the new meds I'm getting are gonna make it better. But yeah, to the point where it affects my content, it definitely does. It's also affected my streams, because with the we don't know how it's connected yet. Maybe it's because the immune system's more suppressed, but I've been having a lot of bladder infections recently, and they hurt. Like, I was allowed to swear like once in a sentence, right? They hurt like a bitch. Okay, they hurt so much.
Past 5 minutes, just don't spam them.
And the first time it happened I was so mad at that, right? It was this, I started streaming, I got announced for Rising 3. I had like a shit ton of viewers, right? And then I got a bladder infection, and that was the first one I'd ever gotten. It was so bad. And then after that one, I got one like every 10 days for like 4 weeks straight.
God. Ow.
And then it was like, yeah, it was gone for a bit. That I would occasionally have one, like just in between, you know, sometimes. And then, but those would be like minor. But then recently, after like right before I got my new medication, I had another really big one. And then now I've been having one like every 4 days. And it's just like, especially that is what's affecting my like content, but also my work now, because it will literally be, I will wake up in the morning, I'll feel fine. 10 minutes before I'm about to leave for school or for work, I'll get a bladder infection. On Blockworst Day, I was sitting there streaming on 2 aspirin and ibuprofen with a hot water bottle on my stomach because I was in pain.
God, I'm sorry.
Like, I try and push through, especially for fun things like that. But it really sucks because, you know, no one deserves to be in pain. And it just, you know, it is something I have to deal with every day. And I'm like, you know, it's not really fair. Because you think to yourself like, oh, but I did everything right. You know, I ate healthily. I was, you know, playing sports. I was working out. And then you still get this. I mean, it's a hereditary disease. And the weirdest thing is, like, no one, like my parents, my uncles, aunts, my grandparents, my parents, grandparents, none of them had ever been diagnosed with IBD. Like, no one in my family has ever been diagnosed with IBD, at least for the generations that we've known. So I'm the first, and I got it from somewhere, from, you know, but like IBD only, like, we don't know what, like, they don't know what triggers it, but some people have I don't know what it's called. I'm gonna call it the gene. Some people have the gene for it.
The gene.
And then they will never, like, activate it, but they said, like, maybe stress plays a factor, and I stress over lots of things, so maybe that's why, but, well, I guess we'll never know unless some medical breakthrough happens.
Was there any sort of preparation you did regarding MCC Rising? Because obviously you didn't want to miss out on that, and you didn't want to be unwell before it. So was there like a certain preparation of not eating anything, not doing this, not doing that? Like, was there something for MCC Rising or no?
We got announced of like 2 weeks before Rising. So I was just really praying that I would not get another bladder infection on Rising Day. Fortunately, I didn't. Yeah, that day, like, they actually told us in the VC, like, on the day of Rising, don't go outside. Don't eat anything weird. Make sure you're in tip-top shape and healthy because we don't want you to have to sub out. Like, they told us that. And I had work that day. I was at work with Mijntje. What I took to work was an apple and like a few slices of just white bread. And that's like all I ate for the day. And then for dinner, I had white bread with egg because I know that's safe. And then I played Rising because
that's what I mean. That's the preparation I mean. Because that's the same. If I ever got to Rising, like, I'd probably have like an apple in the lunchtime with like a chocolate bar, and then in the afternoon I'd probably have like rice, and that's it. That's all I'd eat. That's all I'd eat before Rising.
I was like being extra careful. I was not eating anything that could set it up because I wanted to be in tip-top shape for Rising. Fortunately, I was. Had a great time. I felt decent. So, you know, but I was like, oh my god, please, like, body, if at any moment you want to give me something good, do it today. And it listened, so yeah.
Do you know how insane that is, though? That, like, I obviously, again, I'm not trying to compare myself to you, and because your condition's a lot worse than I am, but we have to really, like, we physically can't eat anything on the day of a big event just for the sake of being safe. Like, it's pretty insane, right?
It's kind of crazy, but yeah, like I said, you can sit on the couch and sulk about it, or you can just continue with your life, because you're also, like, if your mental is bad about it, your physical is also not gonna get any better, you know? So I just try and keep going, keep myself busy so I don't think about it too much, and then just keep a positive outlook on life, because I have, like, I can't complain, you know, because I have a lot of really cool stuff I do. A ton of people would kill to be in my position with things I do, so I just try and be grateful for all the really cool opportunities that I've gotten recently, and just look at it like, you know, it's really cool that I just get to sit here and I get to stream and all these people watch me. I get to go in and make YouTube videos, and I get to talk to all these streamers and YouTubers that I grew up watching. So I just try and keep it a positive outlook, because I'm a firm believer in if your mental is good, then your physical will follow. But if your mental is bad, then your physical will also follow.
I mean, that's just mind over matter. Like, I was on the train one day, and then I started to really need a toilet, and like, there's a stop that I normally get off to go to work, but I wasn't getting off at that stop. Like, my stomach, do you know, like, how like your stomach, like, Bluetooth connects to your home? As soon as you get home, it starts hurting, like, really bad. Like, so like, I was like nearly at work, but I didn't get off the stop, and I was like to my stomach, I was like, please, just like for a second, we're going a little bit further today. just chill out, wait till we get there, and then we can go. It just stopped hurting, and then as soon as we got there, then it started hurting again. But it's like, it's a mind over matter. You just have to convince yourself that like you're good, you're happy, you're healthy. And a lot of time, when people are in pain or they're sad or whatever, a lot of the time it's because they've just convinced themselves that they're in pain. Realistically speaking, if you kind of ignore it, like sometimes my leg will hurt because I banged it, right? But like if I didn't realize I banged it, I wouldn't be in pain. If I realized I banged it, suddenly it's hurting all the time because
this is actually, I have a really funny example of that. You know when you go to like a concert and you have like the ringing in your ear, like after really loud music or something? Yeah, I can gaslight myself into making that stop. Like, literally, I'll come home I'll be in bed after a concert, I'll be like, oh, this ringing is really loud. Which is like, oh, there's no ringing, I'm imagining it, and it just stops.
I respect it. Yeah.
I don't know how it works, but I have a superpower, I guess.
We've touched on MCC Rising and stuff, so we might as well talk about events, right? We've been talking about it enough now. We might as well keep going on about it. Yesterday, we played in Blissful.
We did.
That was fun. You called me an op after going for me, which was strange. You mentioned you were going to bring it up on the podcast today.
Yeah, because you said you went for me, but I fireball jumped upwards. You threw a fireball at me first, before I even ever saw you were there. You threw a fireball at me, I landed, I was like, oh my goodness, that's an op. I fireball jumped to you, then I was like, oh, it's Orbits, let me spleef him. And then you spleefed me, I fell down. I jumped back up again, and then we spleefed each other and we both died. You died first, so that's all that matters. But yeah, you did go for me first, because you then started screaming after I called you an op that I went for you, but you fireballed me first.
Hey, look, do you want to hear about spleef? I'm notoriously shit at spleef.
Me too.
I spleefed and killed Greninja, who was on my team. And then in the second round, right, I didn't mine a single block. I said, in the third round, I said, I'm not mining any blocks after that, blah, 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 blah. I decided to finally mine a block. Who was I trying to spleef? Greninja. Bro.
Oh my god.
I wasn't paying attention, so I kept trying to fucking spleef here, and I was like, okay, alright.
Spleef is also not my game mode. I am so bad at spleef, it's not even funny.
I actually did quite well yesterday, but normally I suck at it.
I did like pretty well in 2 of the rounds of spleef in Bloke vs Origins, except for the one where Kel Awesome just sniped me 5 seconds into the game and I just wasn't allowed to play. No, we it's all jokes. But like I am also really bad at spleef. I feel like that Origins was the first time I ever not did terrible in a spleef match.
Speaking of like Origins and stuff, there's also other events that I kind of want to run through. Is you have a Biome Battle Bible. What the heck is the Biome Battle Bible?
Okay, so this started off as a
it's
joke.
So good because I found out about it today. I didn't even know it existed until like this morning when I was like scrolling through your profile to be like, is there anything else I can chat about? Then suddenly, Biome Battle Bible. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, so this started as a joke. Basically, we had the Dutch team for Biome Battle 4, and we were all in a call on like Saturday night. It was Slushy, Pine, and me, and Aragon couldn't make it because he was at a writers meeting. And we just talked strategies. Like, it was nothing too detailed or anything, because at one point, like, rumors started circulating that we had a document. Like, the extent of our document was Slushy had, like, 1 page in a Google Doc where it was just, like, written down, oh, these are the best kits for Arena, and then this is the game order we want. But basically, we were in that VC for, like, 3 hours, mostly messing around, on the practice server, or not the practice, but like the pack test server, just killing each other over and over again in the pit. We were in a call for 3 hours and we just discussed some strategies. And then at one point, Aragon sent a message that was like, hey, did I miss anything important yesterday? So I was like, oh, not too much. Because in my head, genuinely, I thought we didn't talk about it too much. But I started writing it down in bullet points because I was like, okay, let me just write down what the strategies are. Eventually, it became like a full Discord Nitro length message. So I sent that and I was like, wait, but I just said it's not that much. So I said, sorry for the Bible, because in Dutch, you sometimes say like, oh, sorry for the Bible, or like, oh, even een Bijbeltje lezen. Like, if someone sends a really long message, we call it like a Bible for jokes.
Yeah.
Because the Bible's also long. So I was like, oh, sorry for the Bible. And then we started like referring to just our strategies as the Bible. And I told Liam like, oh, I have a Bible. And then we were in like a call beforehand. And I think Fan asked Bit, who was also Bit's the owner of Biome Battle, by the way, who was also in the call, like, Bit, can you give us like a 15-second pitch on all of the games? And then he was like, oh, hold up, let me just pull up May's Bible for all the games.
That's
so he could easily look through them. And then I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna run with this bit now. We have the Biome Battle Bible. We're going to refer to it as the Holy Biome Battle Bible. We were not the strongest team, like, by far. like player-wise, because we also had Pine, who was a newcomer, and then, I'm decent at Biome Battle, but I'm not good, and then Aragon's also not the best Biome Battle player. But we had the strategies that, like, because we're not a PvP team, we had a really good strat for Arena that made us win 6 out of 7 rounds that we played. We didn't get the most points, but we did still, like, win most of the rounds in Arena. So we were like, oh my goodness, it's the strategy. And then I realized, like, whoa, Biome Battle knowledge diff is crazy, because you don't have to be the best player to play well in Biome Battle, considering I've made it to finale twice now in a row. And then I was like, okay, I'm actually going to write down these strategies in just like a document so I have them, and I can just show them to like my teams that want to lock in.
Yeah.
I started writing it. Then I realized, like, oh wait, this is going to be really long. And it ended up being like a 26-page document with 4.5k words. And I haven't even touched Farming Frenzy because it's benched right now. So Farming Frenzy explanation after the rework is going to also be in there. So it's going to be even longer. And I want to add like screenshots to explain certain things. Like I want to make it a guide for anyone who's like never played or seen Biome Battle before. If they read through the guide, they will be able to like understand the games, know what's going on, and play well in them. That's my goal for the Bible.
I love it. Such a cool idea.
Yeah.
There's also like other tournaments, like you got invited to Block Wars Origins. Was that quite a shock for you?
Or were you I've been wanting to play Block Wars for so long. Like I was an SMP streamer, so I was never in the event community. When Block Wars released, I really wanted to play, but I didn't get in. And then obviously Block Wars became like this huge event. And I've always wanted to play. And I think after Rising, I teamed in Biome Battle with Wolfie once. We just got to know each other. And then I messaged Wolfie once, was like, hey, is there any way I could ever like play in a not Biome Battle, in a Block Wars? And basically he just said like the roster for Block Wars is so like difficult to put you in. But I just also put it down to like I'm not relevant enough for a main Block Wars. But I was like, maybe me just saying this will also let him know I'm interested in an Origins. I don't know if it was just wasn't the time, or if he didn't get that hint. But I was also very much interested in playing Origins. I just wanted to play Block Wars. Yeah, I didn't get in, and this was like a couple like months ago already. And then the Reddit did this, like someone on the Reddit did this post where they asked every day who people wanted to see be a newcomer in Block Wars the most. And for some reason, I was number 4 in that. I didn't even know, like I'm not that big of a Reddit user. I will pop in there sometimes and check it out, especially when I'm like in an event and I got announced. I'll check out like the subreddit to see what people say because, funny. I watched that video and I was like, oh, let me see if Jeremy's on this, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch, like I'm gonna skip through this video to see if Jeremy's on this, because I didn't expect myself to be on there. And I saw Jeremy was at 11. I was like, oh cool, nice, that's good for him. I was like, oh, let me just see who top 5 is. And then I saw me at number 4 and I was like, wait a minute, like I did a double take. I was like, oh, fun. And then Wolfie basically said in that video, I was like, hey, well not hey, but he's like, I can see May maybe in an Origins, not necessarily in a main Block Wars, but I think in Origins is definitely possible. So at this point I was like, okay, now's my chance. I just messaged Wolfie. I was like, with a screenshot, like, how did this happen? Also, yes, please, I will take Origins. I just want to play. So then Wolfie let the organizers of Origins know I was interested, and that together with a vouch from someone else at the same time, I then like 2 days later got a message like, hey May, we have a team for you. Are you available? And I was like, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I'd love to play in Origins. I just don't like. There's absolutely nothing wrong with asking. I just always get like a bit thingy. And like, see, my thing is, I've said this before, and it goes for every event. I don't like asking to join events. I prefer being invited, because I don't want to be asked. I don't want to ask and I join an event and then that like for 3 events in a row I can't make a single date. But if they ask me to join and I say yes, at least at that point it's like, okay, you asked me, so it's not so bad. If I'm actively going out my way to be like, yo, can I be in this event? And then like, 3 events later I haven't signed up to a single one. It's like, okay, well that's why I asked and I just haven't signed up to one. I mean, for the most part I can make Saturdays pretty easily. It's just like on the off chance that 3 Saturdays in a row I couldn't make it. It's like, yeah. But I'd love to play Origins, but I just also don't want to just be the guy to reach out and ask. Like, it's just never really been me. Not because because of that reason only, but yeah. Yeah, I never really was like someone who would be pushy with it, like not even now, but I was this time with Origins. I was like, okay, I feel like if there was ever a moment that I would have a chance of getting in Origins, it would be now, considering I was number 4 on the list of most requested newcomers. I was like, please, I didn't even say, actually, like, I will take in Origins, like, please put me in. And then he's like, oh, I'll let them know you're interested, and then they ended up having like a spot for me.
which I guess was lucky. And I'm pretty sure also another like person couldn't make it, so that's why I got in. But yeah, I feel like recently I have been reaching out to more people because I'm really scared of talking to people. Specifically like asking someone to join my stream, for example. I am so scared to do that because I'm in my head. I'm like, nobody cares. Nobody wants to join your stream. I was always so scared to reach out to people, and recently I've been like talking to more and more Dutch streamers and YouTubers who just been saying like, May, if you want something, you have to reach out. Like if you want to be in an event, you have to just like let them know you're interested. Whether that's making like a Twitter post or just reaching out to someone directly, let them know. And like if you want to collab with someone, just send them a message. Like the worst you get is a no. So I have been like reaching out. Like I made it a commitment to reach out to more people and not ask to be in more things, but like inquire about more things that I want to be in, you know?
Yeah, I get you. And it's the same with I mean, I had the same kind of thing with you as you funny enough. So a little while back, I think it's like at the start of 2024, I wanted Wolfie on the podcast, but I had no way to contact him, didn't have him on Discord, didn't have him added, didn't have like a way to like, actively message him kind of thing. I couldn't message him through Twitter, but you get it. Anyways, someone messaged me and it's like, every time InsideMC gets mentioned on Wolfie Mogul Mail, people just message me, you're on Wolfie Mogul Mail. I can't tell, it's like, it's just funny, like it's just become a funny thing at this point, right? So it was about the Noxide podcast and another podcast, I think it's Three Berries. The clips were taken and put in the Reddit. So Wolfie made a video about it. So I just commented on the video. I was like, yo, like if you'd ever be interested in coming on the podcast, I mean, I'm down. And I got for like a few people replying to it saying this would be sick and stuff. And then Wolfie was like, yeah. So like, okay, screw it. So I sent Wolfie a friend request. It's like, okay, I've sent the friend request right after I've sent the message. I actually cancelled my previous friend request and resent it. and then he accepted and he came on the podcast. So like it works. Like with podcast stuff, I don't mind reaching out and like saying, yo, would you be interested in coming on? Because I'm asking you to come onto my thing. It's just like,
yeah.
And there's absolutely zero harm in asking someone if you can join their tournament. At the same time, it's just, there's never been something I fully do. It's just never been me. It's a great thing to do, and obviously it worked in your case. Just please don't take this podcast and assume now that you can just reach out to every tournament and get in. May was close to them. May had been in Rising. Not saying Rising had an impact. Well, it probably did.
Oh, well, it definitely has.
Okay, I didn't want to be that guy. But May knows these people. May was in Rising, all that kind of stuff. Like you can't just reach out to an event and expect to get in. So please don't take this as a thing to start vouching yourself. Like if you realistically feel like you can get in, 100% feel free to. Just don't misinterpret what this podcast is meaning to be, essentially.
Yeah, like don't go into like event organizers and harass them. It's like I asked months ago, just like inquiring like, hey, if there's ever like any opportunity, let me know. I'm just letting you know I'm interested. And then I saw like another opportunity with being on that list. I was just like, you mentioned Origins would be doable. If it's doable, count me in. Like I'm so down to play.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, like please don't go harass event owners to be in.
And then yesterday, or from recording this podcast, Friday, you were in Couplecraft as well.
With Katie.
Okay, well, I casted that. I casted your Biome battle as well. That was very fun.
True, you did. I watched that one back.
I did a lovely little introduction for both Liam and yourself. I cut off the part that I talk about you and Katie. I just sent the Liam one. I can't actually remember off the top of my head what I said about you. And then you was also on Lover Host. You won it. You was in Toff's Lover Host.
I was, yeah.
So.
That was fun. It was I'd never been on a dating show before. the summary of that. No, but it was a fun one. It was like I was really scared for that because the only person I knew there was actually Toff. Like all the other people never spoken to before ever. But it was fun. I didn't expect to win. The funny story behind that was that I was messaging like after I couldn't make the first date, and after they had to move it, I was like, oh, I can sign up, let me sign up. But I was telling Chaos like, hey, I will let you know, but I might have to leave early because it started at 12 a.m. for me, and sure, it was a Saturday, but I also have parents who don't really want to stay up until 2 a.m. hearing me yap. So after I signed up, I told my parents like, hey mom, dad, so I'm kind of in this like event that starts at like 12 midnight, and it might take until like 2 a.m. Is it okay if I talk for this long? And they were like, they weren't the biggest fans of it. But I told them, okay, if you just give me until 1, like give me an hour, give me until 1 a.m. That's not too late. Like you're in bed more often by 1 a.m. Like it's fine. And then if you're still awake by 1 a.m. From my talking, text me and I'll make sure I get voted off. So I had like a whole plan with Chaos, like if my parents would text me at 1 a.m. and he just like tell Toph that I had to go, and then he would vote me off. But in the end, they never texted me. They fell asleep, and I was up until like 2:30 a.m. that night. Winning.
Okay, other than winning, right? If you didn't expect to win, what round did you think you was gonna get voted out in? Like, if you had to choose one, I guess. Is there any like really close calls? 'Cause I didn't get a chance to watch it.
I'm like trying to think back to I think maybe I would have gotten out in the round. So one of the questions, I think Abby asked it, was who do you think the worst contestant here is? And the other people all knew each other, right? They were all friends. So they started quickly like going at each other. And I was just there like, I don't know any of these people. I do not like, because obviously if I were in that call with Katie, Pei, and Liam, I would as a friend, in a friend funny way, start like shitting on them and like, no, this person sucks because they did this and this. But I didn't know any of these people. I didn't know anything about these people. And they all seemed like really nice people, and I didn't just want to shit on anyone. So I didn't answer the question. I was like, guys, can we all just like, love and whimsy, let's be nice to each other. And then I was like, oh, I didn't answer the question, so I thought I might get out in that one, but I didn't actually get out there. Like I wasn't put in the bottom 2 until there were 3 people left over.
And you had to go. You won it.
True. Yeah, but to be fair, I didn't think I was going to, because I think it was Slime that was left, was like saying to Toph that I chose bait, but our DM history is just him saying, May, I chose bait, do with that information what you will. And I was like, okay, thanks. And I wasn't gonna snitch on him, but then he just turned around and he lied. But I was scared, because obviously I was like, I was the only new person there. I didn't even expect to make it the top 2. And then I just expected Toph to go for it, for the jokes, go for his friend. I guess I just have Riz like that. I should take that back. Actually, I hate that word so much.
Also, yeah, sorry, I know we've talked a lot about events. Apologies. So I do have one more event I wanted to pick up on because we mentioned it a few times. It's MCC Rising. We haven't actually really properly talked about it. How was that?
Oh my goodness. Mentally, I'm still in September during Rising. No, that was so great. It's like we just had come off TwitchCon, and like that's where the Pookies really became like the Pookies, obviously, because I was friends with Liam through Twitch SMP. I knew of Pei because I had been on Seasons SMP and then on Pei's Builder's Vision SMP, and then I also knew of Katie. Like we'd never really spoken before, but we knew of each other. And then obviously because like I think Katie and Pei knew each other, and then Liam and Pei knew each other. Like we all were connected in some way. We went to TwitchCon. We all met up there. We spent TwitchCon together. It was a really great vibe, and we had like a ton of bits. And one of the bits was like calling each other Pookie. And then we just got home. We made a group chat that was called the hotel room, where everyone who was in the hotel room that we were like, 'cause every night we would go back to our hotel. I would just like sit in one hotel room and just talk. And then Katie saw the MCC Rising 3 announcement, sent it in there, and was like, oh my god, guys, MCC Rising 3 is happening. So then I DM'd Katie, Pei, and Liam. I was like, okay, so we're doing this, like the 4 of us, right? And they were like, hell yeah. And then I think that same night, we were in a call recording the footage for our application. The next day, I spent like 6 hours editing it, and then I sent it over to Pei, who spent like 6 hours until 5 a.m. doing the subtitling for it. And then I think on the second day after the announcement that applications were open came out, we handed in our application. And I don't know what, because sometimes you have like that feeling, like in your stomach that's like, oh, this is gonna happen. Like this is gonna happen.
The good feeling.
Yeah, I didn't have that with our Rising 2 application, but I had that. Like I just had a feeling that we're gonna be in the event. Obviously, like you don't want to say that out loud, and you don't want to like be like, oh yeah, I guess we're gonna be in and brag about it. But I just had a feeling because we really worked well. If I say so myself, we really worked well together, and I really liked our application. So I just had this feeling that we were going to get in, and I found out during our subathon. Or not ours, but my subathon. I was live, and then I just saw our like Pink Pookies chat getting spammed, and I was like, "Oh, did we get like is there something going on? So Katie's like, guys, pick up, and then I pick it up. I'm like, guys, I'm live. So I turn it off speaker. I use it like as a phone, and then Katie just says, we're in. And the worst thing is I am wearing a heart rate monitor here. So I have to be like super serious. Go to chat and be like, sorry, there's like some personal things that I have to deal with right now. I'll be right back. I run to my bathroom. Katie's like, guys, we just got the email. We're in. I start jumping up and down out of excitement. I was like, okay, guys, I have to tell my parents and I have to go back to stream. I hang up. I run downstairs, tell my parents, start jumping up and down. My heart rate's like 150. Run back up the stairs. And I have to be like, okay, I have to contain myself. So I take a few breaths, serious face. Yeah, sorry guys, there was just some like some personal circumstances that we had to deal with, but everything's resolved now. It's all good. It's so bad.
That reaction to the jumping up and down thing, luckily I wasn't live for it, and I can't say what it is because this podcast is coming out before then. You know what it is anyway. It's the exact same reaction I had to that.
Yeah.
Where I'm like jumping up and down on the spot, and it was just before me and my partner went out for dinner. So I'm like sitting there the entire dinner just smiling to myself, and they know what it's about, but they're like, they're just sitting there like so obviously we've been together so long, so we didn't really have much to talk about. So we just sat there just smiling at each other. From other tables, it must have looked like the most creepiest thing ever.
Yeah, but the thing is, I couldn't let anyone on stream realize or know. So I was just like there, and I was like, wait, shit, I'm still, because like Katie told me, mate, you're still wearing the heart rate monitor. Like, you have to get your heart rate down, take a few breaths. Because obviously, like, if someone's heart rate just goes up to 150, you're like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, what the heck just happened? Yeah.
But yeah, we got in, jumping up and down in the bathroom. I ran downstairs, then started jumping up and down with my parents because we got in. Went back to stream, and I had to compose myself for the next like 7 hours of my stream that I still had to do that day before going to bed. So.
Jesus, yeah. And
yeah,
the experience was really cool as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was
it's how I
so
met you guys. Well, not really how I met all of you guys. Me and Liam were meant to apply to MCC Rising too, which to this day I was so angry. No, I'm joking. No, he couldn't make it because he was busy with work, and we kind of just lost contact over that time. But then when MCC Rising 3 came around, I was like, oh crap, like me and Liam used to talk, and like we didn't lose contact in a bad way. We just kind of just had different communities. So I was like, oh, let me just like reach out to Liam, because I'm like, I've interacted with him before, and see if you guys would be interested in coming on the interview video. And ever since then, I've like chatted away to more you and Liam, like Katie and Pei are amazing as well. I just haven't really talked to them much. But like, I'm glad I like got introduced to you guys, and I'm glad like you guys are a team with Liam, because obviously me and Liam had already been close. We played in an event before, like we'd known each other, so it made it a lot easier to kind of interact with you guys. And it was an amazing team, like such an amazing group, such good vibes and everything.
It was so much fun. Like, we just started, because the thing is, right, after we were announced and the practice server was open, Katie was still on vacation for like a full week of it. So we were doing like practice, but Katie could never make it. It was so sad. And eventually we could like do practice with all of us together and with Ant. And it was just like that whole moment, because for me, it was perfect. I still had my summer break. Like, I was done with my subathon, but my school hadn't started yet. I could literally just spend 12 hours a day on content. And that's really also what made me realize like how much I love making content and streaming and just doing everything online in general, and just making content. I've said making content 5 times in the sentence. Oh my goodness. Anyway, it just made me realize, because I could dedicate like my entire day to content creation, and it just made me realize how much I love it, because I would wake up.
Love what? Sorry,
I would
content?
like content. What?
Well, you said how much you love it. Are you referring to content? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm being silly. Sorry.
Oh wait, because I can't finish the yeah, no, great joke. Yeah, thanks. I did landed so late. Anyway, because I would like wake up, I'd be like, oh my god, now we've been announced. Okay, I'm gonna plan tweets. Like, okay, what kind of different tweets can I post? What different pictures can I make? What different pictures can I post? What streams can I do? When am I gonna do them? Can I stream this night? Can I stream that night? Can I make TikToks? You know, I was just constantly thinking about, because obviously you're in this hype of like, oh my goodness, it's happening now. We've been announced. Everyone knows. But it was also like I was just so locked in on playing Minecraft and making content and trying to, obviously, because if you're at MCC Rising, everyone's gonna milk it. I was milking the shit out of it on Twitter, and I had such a great time.
But you were one of the teams that didn't want to get in for the purpose of like clout, which was nice. I always said this, like you can just tell that they can tell that like when teams want to be in for clout or because they genuinely want to play MCC.
I mean,
you,
we
like,
just thought
but obviously
MCC
you're
so
gonna
cool.
farm the clout when you get in, but like you went in it for that reason, which was nice.
We really just wanted to, like, we all love MCC, obviously. I've watched like the first MCC live when it happened, and just been a really big fan since. We all love MCC, and we just really like playing games with each other. We had a really great time at TwitchCon. We're like, okay guys, holy crap, this would be so cool if we get to play it. And I think one of the things we were most excited for was just like, oh my god, if we get in, we get to play Ace Race at Sands of Time. Like, we just were so hyped to play the games. And then when we so obviously before MCC starts, you do like a pack test and like a mod test, make sure everything is running smoothly and you can actually run the event. Yeah. So we played Ace Race against Avondale, and the entire time we were playing that, we were like we just like saying out loud, this is so cool, we are playing Ace Race right now. Like, guys, can you believe this? We are playing Ace Race. Oh my goodness. Like, we were just fanboying and fangirling over getting to play the games, and it was so much fun. And then yeah, obviously when you get in, it's gonna bring some clout and you're gonna farm the clout for as much as it's worth. But yeah, it was such a great time.
I actually have an MCC Rising team this year. Well, we've made it because it's just like a group of us who are friends, and we've kind of just agreed to like, let's sign up, like let's lock it in case there is an MCC Rising team this year, just so like we don't worry like about, you know, getting split elsewhere or whatever. So it's actually gonna be me, Luflin, Apathy, and Rory, and it'll be my first time ever actually streaming, actually applying with like a quote unquote full streamer team, which will be nice.
Yeah.
If it happens this year. If it doesn't, then we'll just save it for next year, because we're good enough friends to the point where like we want like you guys, the Pink Pookies, that you all still want to actually move each other. But like Rory streams a good amount, Luf streams a good amount. So yeah, Apathy doesn't stream loads right now, but they're gonna get back into it. Whereas like the past years, I've applied with friends, which has been absolutely amazing, but they've never really been streamers. So I'm not saying that's the reason I didn't get in, but like it obviously has an impact. They're gonna look for like, it's Rising for a reason, you know. They're not just gonna have a group of friends. So hopefully it happens, hopefully it does. And I got a pretty cool application if so this year. Well, we don't have the application idea, but a team, which is gonna be nice. So.
Yeah, I'm ready for you guys.
I hope I get in. I mean, my last years I've done every single like one of the videos and the ideas and stuff. I've like thought of the ideas and edited it myself. My teams have kind of just left it down to me. So it'll be interesting to see to see what happens this year. But I have a funny idea for if I do get into Rising that like I'd want to execute, which I can mention it. Screw it. If I get into Rising and I'm on like the green team, for example, then I want to do the entire event in like an alien costume. Like, do you know them big puffy alien costumes? Are just impossible to move in. I want to do the entire event in that. So
that's so fun.
I'll bottom frag like crazy, but I think it'd be a funny little bit.
It's really fun, but it's also like just I feel like the people would love that. The whole community surrounding Rising was so supportive. It was so nice. Like, even before we were announced, like when we brought out our application as the Pink Pookies, there were just so many people who had played in, like, because obviously we were like, okay, we want to generate at least some hype around our application. And we were lucky that we were like maybe one of the first few applications that came out. And obviously there were like a ton more, but like they were like screen recorded, unedited applications. So we were like one of the actual decent applications that came out, like as one of the firsts. And we just sent it in to like so many of people, like these streams of people like, oh, Rising 1, Rising 2 ranks your applications. We sent them into a bunch of them. And obviously like between Katie, Pei, Liam, and I, we had some connections. But there were also people like we never really spoken to much before, like maybe at TwitchCon we'd have met, that were just like being super nice. For example, Akko. I've spoken to him a few times over at TwitchCon, but he just like replied to, I think, Pei's announcement of our application being out, being like, oh, we'd be so honored to pass down the pink torch to you guys. Like, everyone was just super nice and supportive, and like Maddie Milkberry and Jack Pyrocythe, they were also just like being so supportive, and it was so nice to see just people band together because they also, you know, liked our team.
I tend to try not to send my like applications into streams because it's a bad thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't like the false hope or the false like sadness. I think like a lot of the time, like, it's not the streamer's fault, they're just reviewing applications, but a lot of the time the streamer will be like, oh, this is an amazing application, or they'll be like, oh, this isn't that good of an application, and they'll like tier list it. And it's like, if you see in tier A, you're like, oh my god, this gives me hope, and if you see in like tier D, it's like, oh, like it kind of is a bit of a mood killer. And a lot of the time, like I think I can't remember what creator was, but they were tier lists in the applications, and I think they made like a tier list of these teams should be in, and I think they put maybe about like 12 or 13 teams in there. I'm pretty sure only 1 or 2 teams made it into the event, and it's like, that's why I like, as much as I like the hype and I like the traction towards it, at the same time I just don't want to get this false hope of they've put me in, they should be in tier, and then I don't get in. I know they're not the decider, but it's still like, you know.
Because we did think about that. We were like, even if we said, like, because we actually, like, said this, we'll send it in, but no, this doesn't mean anything. Like, if they rate us low, it doesn't mean anything. If they rate us high, it doesn't mean anything either. In the end, it comes down to what Nox Crew thinks and wants. But we just wanted to send them in just so, like, our name would be out there. Because also, like, if you get announced, for example, and because obviously we're not really known in the event community, we were all SMP streamers and lore streamers, so
yeah,
we weren't known in the event community.
Because none of the event community got in. Not a single team was event community.
True. I think it did also help because I don't really look for like the teams that will be the strongest, and I feel like if they put in one event team, they're gonna have to put in a lot more event teams because like just like let's say you get like a Jackass who applies with an event team of other event players, they'll probably stomp the competition, because Rising is not that high comp. But yeah, I think we just wanted to send it in so that if we did get in and we got announced, people would know, like, oh, that's the Pink Pookies, and it wouldn't be like, oh, who are these people? Like, what's this team?
Yeah. It makes sense. What's it called? My team this year, if we do get in, is so incredibly weak. Like, but it's such a high vibe team.
The Pink Pookies were also weak, but
it's
like
such a high vibe team. Like, that's what I'm looking forward to. Like, it's a silly.
But that's also good.
Right. Anyway, sorry. Enough about events. We've talked about it for so long. Apologies. It's just like your main thing now. Because obviously, you like. I know you're in SMPs. Like, you got an SMP that you're going to be in tonight from recording this podcast. So you're like the launch. But like, realistically speaking, you're not really much of an event like creator anymore, are you? You do more like not much of an SMP creator anymore. You do more like lean towards events and stuff nowadays. Ever since Rising, I've noticed. So unless I could be just completely wrong. Yeah,
I love SMPs and I'm still in quite a few of them. It's just on my Dutch channel I only stream 3 times a week now, and if you have like an event, then that's already one stream basically you're dedicating to that event. But I feel like to me it's still decently balanced. I have definitely streamed SMPs less, also because recently I didn't obviously now I have the line and I have No Man's Land that I'm streaming as well. So I've been streaming more SMPs, but before that I didn't really have like an SMP to stream because I left Twitch SMP after 2 seasons and I just had my viewer SMP, but I also didn't want to like stream that every single stream, so I've been streaming more like MCC Island or like Cytoxian as well, because I'm just trying to diversify what I stream. I don't want to be known as like the SMP streamer anymore. I was the viewer SMP streamer, I didn't want to be known as that anymore, but I also don't want to be known as an event streamer because I sure I play in events and I have played in a lot more events recently, but I also don't events are not the only thing I stream.
No, I just mean more so that you just stream a little less SMPs now is more what I was getting.
Yeah, because obviously I've been doing other stuff as well. I don't want to be like known as that one SMP streamer, that one event streamer, which is why I've been doing SMPs and events, and then also sometimes like charity thing or like a couple craft or like a server like MCC Island or something. So I've definitely been switching up what I stream. I wouldn't consider myself an SMP streamer anymore. You're right in that. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite SMP memories then?
There you asked me something. I think one of my when I started streaming in SMP, I had this month-long viewer SMP that was so bad. Like there were like rarely any plugins in there. I only had like luck perms in there, but it was so nice because there were no like anti-grief plugins. But we went a month without being griefed, Like everyone just hopped on there, played fun together on this really shitty €5 server. And that was really fun. Other stuff, I have some really fond memories of just like playing with Liam, playing with Topsy, who's another friend of mine, on SMPs, which are great. Just having like, sometimes like I would do like a 4-hour stream just messing around with Liam and Topsy, making really bad jokes, and we would just be laughing our asses off. And it was really fun. I think just like the interacting with people, like being able to play on a Minecraft server with my friends is definitely one of the main, I can't English anymore. The main fond memories I have of SMPs. I'm trying to think of like one. I don't have like a specific one favorite memory. It's just for me being able to play on a server with friends and have fun is my main memory.
That's fair. Yeah, you touched on your Dutch streaming channel just a second ago there. I didn't even realize you had a Dutch streaming channel. I thought you only had the Dutch YouTube channel. You do have a Dutch YouTube channel, Maisie TV, which you're consistently uploading about 2 times a week on in believe it or not Dutch. You focus more Roblox content, so it looks like things have gone a little bit full circle, and after 2020 you have finally turned back to Roblox as of a year ago.
I got like sort of thrown into that. So there's this Dutch YouTuber called Meisje Jamila who I always used to watch when I was like younger, like every single video, massive fan. And she started streaming in English at one point, and that's how I met her. And I taught her how to play Valorant once. And then she quit streaming. Didn't come back for a year. And then like a year later, I randomly got like a DM from her being like, "Hey May, would you like to help record this video for my Dutch YouTube channel?" And I was like, "You don't even have to ask. The answer is yes, I will." And I was like freaking out because I was at an open days presentation of a university, and I was like showing my mom like, "Mom, look at this. Jamila just asked me to be in a Dutch YouTube video. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" I was freaking out. And I did a few videos for her channel, which I was in, that did decently well. But obviously, like, she was sending people to my English YouTube and Twitch, which, like, obviously, no shade, but the target audience is a lot younger there. They don't really speak English, so I was getting sure my video would go up with like 5,000 views, but the average watch time would be 30 seconds. So that wasn't worth anything. And then Jamila was like asking me like, "Oh yeah, when are you gonna like start your own Dutch channel?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I really, really want to, but I was like, I don't have time. I'm just too busy right now." And then eventually I was like, I am in a position right now that people would kill for, and I would be so stupid if I didn't capitalize off of this.
Yeah.
It's never going to be the right time. I'm never going to have enough time. I'm just going to force myself to make time. And that's when I started it. And I started with Minecraft and Roblox. I very quickly noticed that Roblox just gets more views. So yeah, I just stuck with Roblox. And I still love Roblox. I never stopped playing Roblox either. It goes through dry patches. But right now, Dress to Impress, I upload like 2 videos a week, and one of those on Friday is always a Dress to Impress video. It just does really well, and then by the time Dress to Impress is like done for, something new will pop up that I can make a video on,
When are the Dutch Roblox roleplays coming?
I'm not much of a role player yet. Will change with Arcadia.
They do really well as well, didn't they? So
yeah, I don't know. I'm not for especially like English roleplay. I do not mind. Dutch roleplay, I still feel so cringy. I did one like sort of rags to riches Brookhaven roleplay video. I don't actually know if that one did well. Let me see. When did I even upload that? Hold on, I'm scrolling my
months ago, which is kind of insane. With
oh my god. Oh yeah. It got 2.2k views, which is not bad.
It's not
like it definitely works, but I always feel like a little bit cringe doing those type of videos. But I feel like I should definitely do more because they do really well. But I did like do a lot more of those roleplay ones for Jamila. Like I would help her out playing the other character or something, like playing the best friend, who was like for quote unquote forgetting her birthday, but then had a massive surprise party planned, stuff like that. I played Wednesday Addams once for a video. Oh, respect. That one was bad. That one was bad, Orbits. But it got like 700,000 views, so I'm not complaining.
Geez. Okay,
but
wasn't that bad then, was it?
No, but my performance was bad.
You'll be fine. I'm sure you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, with that then, have we done a pretty good job of covering everything, or is there something I missed that we should have talked about?
I think so. I think we talked about lots of fun stuff.
Do we have any Twitter questions? Okay, a lot of the replies were like, Ajax, the Go, Debbie, May our beloved, WithMayX, excited. JJJ Kalani, yes. Uzushi, it's May, let's go. Under your quote retweet, someone responded. Fox responded, trust me, we know. But we do have a question. We do have one singular Twitter question with WithMayX. They came 3 hours ago.
Woo!
This is from Factorization 4.
Okay.
Explain the raid/subscription, etc. sound effects, which I've been wanting to ask this entire podcast, but I knew it was a Twitter question, so I've been waiting. Okay.
Yeah, what do you want me to explain about them?
Why is it so bloody loud?
Okay, so the reason behind my alerts, I was on a soundboard website because I was trying to find fun alerts to use, I was like trying to find fun sound effects, and then I was like, oh, I just clicked on this one and it was like Ear Rape Thomas the Tank Engine music, and I was like, okay, is this like too much or would this be funny? It used to actually be louder. I've turned it down already more, but it's okay. Yeah, anyway, I was like, okay, this could be funny because like, oh, you're sending over a raid full of people. You want that to be acknowledged, Because like I know when I rate, I like it when someone has like a fun alert and then like thanks to stream. And I just wanted to make sure, like I really appreciate it when people rate me. Like I think it's so nice. I wanted to make sure that rates didn't go unacknowledged in my chat, and I wanted to make sure that everyone, no matter if they rate me with 100 viewers or if they rate me with 2, would feel like they got their attention and they got their thanks. So it's a way for me to always know when the raid's happening. But I also think it's really funny because like they make an entrance, everyone now knows there's raiders. And it leads to some pretty fun moments. The amount of times I've been jump scared by my own raid alert is actually insane. It's so, like, the thing is, right, it's even louder for me than it is for people on stream, believe it or not. I don't know how to turn it down more for me, but I can only turn it down more for you guys, not for myself. Yeah, I thought that was really funny. I was like,
no, it's funny. It's just so goofy. Like, it's so loud.
It gives people the, like, you know, the recognition they deserve for sending me a raid, because I really appreciate that. And it makes them feel seen and heard, obviously. And then my sub alert is Careless Whisper. And I don't know, I was also just on the sound alert website, and I was like, what can I use as a like a sub alert? And I found this Careless Whisper one, and I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. Like, you know, because I think before this, my friend had just sent me like a clip of this TV show she watches, where they were doing like karaoke of Careless Whisper. So it was kind of like, oh, you know, I just got sent this video, that was funny. Now that it's on the soundboard, let me just use Careless Whisper. And I was just like, do 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 do, you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's a banger.
My sub alerts is just my sub alert is just me aura farming essentially. So
what?
It's hold on, I can send it to you. I'll send it to you, and then we can carry on yapping, and then by the time it's sent, then you just can have some random reaction. Hold on, where is it? My folders are so organized. It's actually really nice, and that's not even me being funny. Like they genuinely are. Right, it's sending. While that sends, then I guess if there's nothing else to talk about, that sadly brings the end of this week's InsideMC, May.
It does bring the end. Wow. I think we yapped for... Yeah, it was really great.
It's been really nice.
Okay, wait, let me watch this.
Oh, yeah. Aura
This
farming.
is great. This is great. Nice. I like that alert.
You should have seen me after Blissful yesterday when I won. I was just spam emoting like every emote that I knew.
Oh my goodness.
Like the Rashford celebration, I did what I called the Jackass, which is just me shadow boxing the camera.
The Jackass is crazy.
I did Absolute Cinema.
Oh.
I was just spamming, and I'm gonna do it again tonight after clicks when we win. I mean,
oh, true. Yeah, you're so winning.
So winning. But yeah, with that being said, mate, that sadly brings the end of this week's podcast. It's been absolutely amazing talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been really, really fun. Yeah,
thank you for having me. I had a great time. I've been wanting to be on this podcast for ages.
And now you're finally here. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Stomach Problems Podcast.
Yippee!
Before I do the outro, though, I always like to give this opportunity for you to promote yourself. So for anyone who didn't know who you were and they're just being introduced to you, all that kind of jazz, who are you? And where can people find you? All
right. Well, like I said, I'm May. I'm a content creator from the Netherlands. I stream every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday on twitch.tv/WithMayX. I stream every Tuesday and Thursday on twitch.tv/MCC Live if you're Dutch. I have a really great YouTube channel filled with Roblox bangers if you're Dutch called MCC TV. So yeah, I upload twice a week on that, every Tuesday and Friday.
Yeah!
Woohoo!
With SlayX.
Definitely.
Right, well, thank you all for watching. This has been InsideMC. Need too much bread. Can you say that in Dutch? Can you do my outro in Dutch, actually? I've always wanted my outro to be in a different language. I'm just scared to ask people, but I feel pretty confident asking you, if you don't mind.
Do I just say the don't eat too much bread in Dutch?
I need you to go, don't eat too much bread, pieces. But like pieces as in like, not, when I say pieces, not as in like pieces and pieces. Like a lot of people don't know this actually, the law. It's pieces as in like pieces of bread, not pieces as in like piece, like peace out.
So it's like don't eat too much bread pieces.
Yeah.
Oké, bedankt voor het kijken. Eet niet te veel broodstukjes.